Hey, it's Communications Director Walter Gottlieb, and I have with me in the studio today our Political Director, Luke Warren. Hey, Luke.
Good to be here.
And our Communications Associate and Young People's Education Campaign Coordinator, Lucas Kaplan.
Hi, great to be here as well. And that's Lucas, not Luke. So just to
that's gonna get confusing. And, you know, in my addled brain, I'm gonna call you Lucas and you Luke and mix it up in all sorts of fascinating ways.
Well, Lucas is my government name too, so it creates a lot of confusion for me, but we've powered through so far.
Yes.
All right, how about Gap Lucas and H&M Lucas? Would that work?
Oh, you clocked me.
I called you guys together because this week is the 91st anniversary of Social Security, signed into law by President Franklin D. Roosevelt on August 14th, 1935. Yay.
Yes, hopefully we'll all live as long as Social Security has so far.
And longer than FDR did.
I was going to say.
That's right. Okay, so we do have to stop and marvel at the fact that this program that was created in the depths of the Great Depression is still with us, and it's a program that we want to see continue. Any thoughts as the program turns 91, Luke Warren?
Sure. Well, you know, there's a reason why it's the most popular government program in history, and there's a reason why it's been so sturdy and so successful and so reliable. It's as simple as it gets. You pay into it and you take out of it, and it really is just government in action. And, you know, that's why it's so people understand it, why it's so strong, why it's really such a great bedrock of, you know, American society.
Amen. And it wouldn't have lasted 91 years if that wasn't true.
Absolutely.
Lucas, thoughts on this program turning 91?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Luke said. I think it's, you know, a testament to what strong leadership, what bold leadership, and what big ideas can do. I think we're still kind of chasing that vision that President Roosevelt had. Mm-hmm. And it's something, you know, I think can inspire us moving forward, certainly in our work here at the National Committee, but for all of us.
Yeah, well said. And that's a great segue, because I would like to play a clip from the documentary we made last year, which is now playing on PBS stations across the country, called Social Security 90 Years Strong, as that was last year for the 90th anniversary, but it still holds true today. And I'd like to play a clip from the beginning of that documentary that mentions Franklin D. Roosevelt, and one voice you will hear in this is his grandson, Jim Roosevelt. So let's roll that clip.
I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
I believe that FDR was critical in creating so many things in the New Deal, and he was committed to the creation of Social Security. It would have been a long time before we got to it if he hadn't been able to get it done.
Today, a hope of many years standing is in large part fulfilled.
I'm Jim Roosevelt. My grandparents were President Franklin D. Roosevelt and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt.
The civilization of the past 100 years, with its startling industrial changes, has tended more and more to make life insecure.
When you hear FDR speaking about the nationwide crisis of insecurity, and then having the wherewithal, with the help of Francis Perkins, of course, his Secretary of Labor, to create this program, what does it make you think?
Man, for me, it's just, there's a reason why he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? He created the strongest, most durable political coalition, 20 years straight in the White House.
Right.
And there's a reason for that, because he was successful and people were really into what he was doing.
And it goes back to what Lucas was saying before, just not afraid of big ideas, and maybe the desperation of the Great Depression giving him some bandwidth to do that. Lucas, I know that you have been studying up on Frances Perkins.
Yes.
FDR's Secretary of Labor. Tell us a little about her role in all of this.
Well, Frances Perkins was really instrumental in the implementation of Social Security. after President Roosevelt was elected, he put together a task force that was meant to tackle the Great Depression and the mess that President Hoover had left behind. And what they were seeing was just record numbers of Americans in poverty, but particularly older Americans. Was it half of all people over 65
I think that's
were
right.
below the poverty line?
Yeah.
So it was kind of a top-down approach, if you will. We have to take care of the most vulnerable, that being the oldest, and that being seniors and disabled Americans. And if you were able to provide a safety net for them, then you could have a prosperous American economy without the boom or bust nature that we saw happen during the Depression.
Which is something, as you point out, that Francis Perkins talked about
Yes.
quite a bit, the sort of instability of the economy and how you had to do something to cushion people against the shocks of it. Well, that leads perfectly into the next clip I want to play, which is about the state that older people were in 1935 before this law was enacted. And two voices you're going to hear in it are Tracy Groniger of Justice and Aging and Bill Arnone, who was one of the founders of the National Academy of Social Insurance. Let's roll that.
Before Social Security, you had elderly people literally living in poorhouses.
Old people were in desperate straits, and it was in the middle of an economic calamity that made things worse. Even if you had savings, they were gone.
So there we understand the genesis of Social Security, that seniors were literally living in poorhouses or dying in a child's house, an adult child's house. And that is a situation that FDR and Francis Perkins and society began to find intolerable. Now, the original Social Security was only a retirement security program, but over the decades, it was expanded to include spousal insurance, survivor's insurance, and disability benefits. Talk about the holistic importance of those, Luke, to people today.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I don't think people fully understand how all-encompassing and how much protection they have from Social Security. When people think Social Security, they just think about their retirement.
Right.
Which is, understandable and fair because it is, what most people will rely on it. But, the disability benefits, no one plans on becoming disabled, but, you've got protection from that. And the survivor benefits as well. Those are really absolutely essential for people who need them. So, yeah, the program kind of evolved and expanded to encompass, any of the vicissitudes of life that can, I think that was
the hazards and vicissitudes of life that FDR talked about.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a lot of vicissitudes these days,
Yes.
aren't they? So, Lucas Kaplan, you're a member of Gen Z.
Yes.
Did you know before you came to work here that Social Security provided life insurance and disability insurance for people of all ages, including in their 20s?
I think I did know that. I did know about the survivorship benefits just from my grandparents, both of whom who had been widowed in some capacity. So I did know that they were receiving checks for their deceased spouse. But no, I actually was not familiar with the disability portion of Social Security. And I think that's fantastic.
All right. Lucas Kaplan, Luke Warren, thanks for the good work that you do here. And thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you, Walter.
Thank you, Walter.